Hey, I think we're here with everybody, honey.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Hi, everyone. It's so funny. We want to be able to hear you. Oh, well, hello, everybody. Here we are coming to you on a beautiful Sunday because so many people have so many questions and they keep telling me they want to see this guy. Can you blame them? uh, okay, well, I want to acknowledge the people who are here and where they're here from. So let's see what we got going on yet. Um, And I'm also starring questions because, boy, there's a lot of fun questions and people curious about certain things. So we're going to try and answer all of those the best that we can, at least, or what we can say. But let's see, we've got people showing up from all over the place. We've got Texas pretending to be Clearwater. Yes. We've got Clearwater, Netherlands. Hello from Dallas, Texas, Clearwater, Indiana. And hello, my beautiful angel. I love you. Everyone's saying, hey, Clara Bear. Hey, Clara Bear. So nice to see you. And look at this. This is where I was almost ish by, which is Spokane, Washington. I was from the Seattle area. Here's Clearwater, the real Clearwater. Is that the real Clearwater, KB? We've got good afternoon from Wisconsin. Anyone not from Clearwater somewhere? No, everyone's from Clearwater somewhere, right? Oh, look at someone from Sweden. Hello there. Wow, thank you. Utah. Okay, I don't know where that is. Helena Soderberg? I don't know how to say it, but that's really nice. Oh no, KB. I thought you were in Clearwater. All right, everyone. North
Long
Carolina.
Island.
Oh, you see a Long Island?
Yeah.
Here we go. Long Island. Hi from the UK. Oh, I got to put this up just because Tiffany, you're so kind. It says, Amy, I love you. You're so kind, genuine, smart, beautiful, and so much more. Thank you for being you and sharing yourself with all of us. Honey, you should talk like that more often.
Print it out.
Thank you. All right. So I'm sure that there's a lot more going on here with the howdy, howdy, howdy. Yes, everybody. Sweden here. Nice. Hello from Norway. Okay, you guys, this is awesome. California is represented. Same with Terrell. Do you say Terrell or Terrell, Texas? That's awesome. Clearwater, Cleveland. Okay, Alabama, Pennsylvania, Southwest Florida, Saskatchewan. All right, you guys. Well, hello from all these different places. I'm sorry if I didn't call your name out, but I'm so thankful for you to be with us. It's a joy for us. You guys are a joy for us. We like doing our content and getting it out to you, and all of the amazing things that you guys comment and write to me personally. It's just amazing. And him. And Matt gets to see all of that as well. Matt's been busy getting information to families who are asking about their loved ones. That's
And if I
been
haven't gotten back to you, I will get back to you. I have a list and I'm working on that list. So,
yeah. We know that it's important. It's the whole reason why we started speaking out in the first place, because of family disconnection. And that's the one of the most nasty things that Scientology does is force families apart. And we're still living with that because his family is still broken up with his brother who's still in and his whole family. So it's something we live with every day, right?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, one of the people that contacted me this week, he was in Scientology as a public, which means he wasn't staff. He was paying for auditing and courses. He got pretty far up. He got all the way up to OT5. And he had a beautiful young daughter who was just, I don't know, what was she, 14, 15. He sent me a picture of her. And she went into the C organization, which is a real bad idea if you're a public Scientologist, because once your kids get in there, then they're leveraged. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, they're going to lose you. And you get leveraged as a public that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you're going to lose your children. And somehow he crossed up with Scientology and they decided to declare him a suppressive person. And they told his daughter that he was like the worst monster in the world. And, he was suppressive. He was trying to, hurt mankind, this kind of thing. So she had to disconnect from him. So she cut all communication, all ties with him as a little teenager. Of course, just ruined him, like wanting to get any kind of information he could about his daughter. So I found out that she had been married 4 years earlier, that I told him what post she had, and he got the name of the husband and all that kind of stuff. And then I told him that she had moved from an organization here in the United States to an organization outside the United States. I'm not going to say where is that because I don't want Scientology to block his efforts to make some contact with his daughter. But he was like, well, did they move her because, they were trying to hide her from me? And I said, well, I don't know that was the case, but, for sure Scientology does that. They do that. They try to hide
Definitely.
people's loved ones from them. If miscarriage doesn't like a person, he can take it even a step further, where he's taken a boy that was at the INT base and international base in California. He had this guy's name changed and sent them to a different continent so the father couldn't find him. Just as a side note, the kid eventually left the Sea organization. He's now back with his dad, and that's going good. But that's the kind of thing that Scientology would do. So I said, no, I don't know that that's the reason they moved them. Then he asked, would they have moved her if she got pregnant? Would they have sent her to a different Sea Org base on a different continent? And I said, no. I mean, if a Sea Org member these days wants to have a child, they don't get transferred to a different Sea organization unit. They have to leave the Sea Org, they go outside the Sea organization. And I said, the good news is, if someone gets pregnant these days, it's not like it was before. We put so much, we talked so much about the fact that Scientology was forcing young women to get abortions, like really separating them from the husband, not allowing them to speak to each other, putting lots of pressure on them, getting all these abortions being done. That stopped happening because of all the exposure and bad PR they were getting. Also, there was some lawsuits brought against Scientology, and Scientology lost and had to pay out big time. So now they're being real careful not to force women to get abortions. So that was good news. You can just see like how terrible it is for a parent, that be separated from a loved one, or any, your brother, your sister, your parents, whatever. The way they break it up and cause people not to be connected anymore is really, really nasty. So just want to cover that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so just to cover a little bit of what we've been doing and what we have coming up. So, and also we'll get to all your questions because I have a bunch written down, and several are coming up in the chat here, which is good. And I'm trying to star them all. So I've been, as you know, reading my chapters of my book, Scientology Abuse at the Top, and with all my added commentary, which has been very therapeutic for me, honestly, because it's funny to see what my viewpoint was when I wrote it, which was I was pretty freshly out of Scientology. Every time I wrote church, I should have written cult. But yeah, I had a certain viewpoint back then, and also I wrote it so like matter of fact, and it's so funny because, like, for example, on the running program, when I was exposing the running program, one of the chapters recently, I just said a sentence like, okay, so you're supposed to run for 5 hours a day. And then I just thought about that and started laughing. Like, is that normal that anyone in this entire world runs for 5 hours a day, just like a regular person? Even marathon people, do they run for 5 hours straight? I mean, it's just completely nuts. And just seeing just how stupid and crazy things are. But anyway, I'm almost done. I've got one more chapter plus the profile of a sociopath to finish my book. So, and I'll do that both probably in one video, my final book, and maybe get his input on that last one, because it's restarting life in the real world. And boy, we were at a dead run when we first got started. And so that chapter is going to be a good one and a fun one because it's freedom. Then everyone's like, I don't want it to end. Well, another thing that I could do and read you all, because you like hearing me read to you, is the bedtime stories, the Little Dicky stories. People keep asking me about those. So I could read you your nighttime bedtime stories, and tell you a little bit of the backstory on each of the things and everything like that. So I was planning on doing that next. What else do you have going on?
Just as a point, I do see the names people are asking about, like Christian Winter, these kind of names. I'm noting them down. I'll go through the video later on, and any names that you ask about that are in the notes there, I will write them down and try to get you the information on them.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody's saying Amy and her tall, handsome New Yorker. I got to just tell you something so funny. When I was a young girl, I told my mom, I had total certainty down to my bones that I said at some point in my life, I am going to marry a tall man from New York. I mean, I was just from Washington State. I have no idea. I didn't even know anything about New York or why New York or anything, but it was just like, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to marry. And it's really funny because in my life, my first husband was from New Jersey, and I thought, and he was tall. So I thought, is that, close enough? And
no, New Jersey's not close enough.
And my second husband, I just went, maybe I was wrong because he wasn't tall and he wasn't from New York. He was from Michigan. But then this guy, I met him in 1983, and we worked together. We tell our story in earlier videos on our channel, which is fun to see if you want to go back and look at those. But yeah, so he sparked my interest right away, but I was married to somebody else, and so was he. So many, many, many years later, when we got to the RPF together in 2005, four, when you first got there.
Yeah, 10 to 4.
Yeah, it didn't take too long once they put us together as twins to decide that we were meant to be together, and we've been together ever since. And in March, we're going to have our 19th anniversary. Yep. Okay, so that's just a little bit of that. Another thing, okay, you hear it first here, guys. Tomorrow, it's not going to be live. I'm going to record it because of time differences and all this kind of stuff. But I am doing a full interview with Ursula Caberta. And if you don't know who that is, she is so important. Anyway, I'm going to tell you all about it tomorrow.
We're going to tell them a little bit about it.
Well, she worked in the government in Hamburg, Germany, since 1992 to warn people about Scientology. And I went to Germany, to Hamburg, and spoke there at one of their conferences. And I've been in touch with her ever since then. And Mark Headley went over there twice for that. Jason Begay even went over there. Several ex-Scientologists went over there. Jesse Prince, Bruce Hines, Hannah and Jerry Whitfield. Just a lot of people. Graham Barry, that's the first time I met Graham. And just speaking out against the abuses of Scientology. Anyway, there's a lot of history and a big story. She's written like 5 books. And it's going to be wonderful. It'll be recorded. It'll take me a little bit to edit it, but just look out for that because it's coming. And that's going to be really exciting. I got all kinds of things lined up, though. I'm going to try to talk Mark and Claire into this Wednesday, that it would be the 4 of us, Mark and Claire and Matt and I, for Wednesday Night Live, because we said when I reached 10,000 subscribers, we would do that. And I did. So they owe us. So we'll do that. Do you want to see what the first question is? Is there anything else on that we want to say? People wanted to know about writing books, and I'm writing a second book, and because this book that I'm going to finish tomorrow or the next day, it ends with my mom disconnecting from me. So
does everybody know what the first book is like?
Yeah.
Show.
This book, Scientology Abuse at the Top, it ends with the disconnection situation with my mom, and And it's right before I started speaking out. So there's a world of everything that happened after that, from all the media and all the PI activity and Emmy-winning TV series and flying around the world and whatever else we did to expose Scientology, despite their attempts to silence us, which were intense. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm writing a book. And what about you?
About halfway through it, writing a book.
Yeah. So he works on that too.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe we'll get him to read a couple examples of what's going to be in it.
Could happen.
Could happen. All right. So one of the questions that I wanted to ask, and I'll also need to catch up on the chat to star any other ones, but so is, how did we go from RPF twins to love? You get to answer that.
Well, I was minding my own business, and Amy started kissing on me and pulling on my clothes and stuff, and that's kind of the short story.
Everyone knows I'm like guilty as hell, right?
No, I mean, we were friends, like Amy said, from 1983, and we wound up in the RPF together in 2004, and we were twins. And I mean, I only wanted the RPF as a way to get out of the Sea Org because I couldn't route out. I mean, nobody was allowed to audit no class 9s, which I would need a high level auditor to audit me because of I was OT7. So I would be sent to pig's berthing, which is the nastiest kind of room with no air conditioning, no windows. You know, you sleep on an old mattress on the concrete or something like that. You can either stay in there and just do work around the Hacienda Gardens apartment complex there, or go back to work. And there was no way to route out without getting declared. So I went to the RPF as a way, because the RPF has its own lines to get out of the Sea Org. I was there to get out.
He's not answering about the love part. Like,
Yeah. But anyway, so we were both working together in an office doing what's called case supervising, where you look at a person's auditing folder and decide like how they're doing and keep them going in a certain direction. So we were in there during the daytime alone, and the rest is history. You know, so it was just, we were perfect for each other. We were both single. We were in the 40s, and we were both wanted to get out of there. So we started a relationship there, and then we went and told the person in charge of the RPF that's outside of the RPF that we wanted to leave. And then we worked our way through getting the heck out of there, and we got married right away. I mean,
yeah,
we got out the 1st of March, and we were married by the 13th of March. And that's only because
they said you had to have a cool off period.
Yeah. You know, you had to wait like a week or something like that in Seattle between when you asked to get married and when you can get married. So that's how that went.
Yeah. The other thing is, my mom had just written to me. I called her for Christmas. It was in my last chapter. I called her for Christmas while I was on the RPF, and there's a whole lineup of people to use one phone with a security guard listening in. And so you've got like a few seconds just to let them know that you're still alive. Anyway, she wrote me a letter saying how she felt so cheated and how come I can never make any time for her ever, you know? And I started thinking about that. It's like, number one, her letter should never have gotten to me. I'm sure that was a big omission by security missing it, you know, in the mail pack, because they're not supposed to let any kind of this kind of stuff through that might create a situation. But I showed it to Matt, and he said, let's just get the hell out of here.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And
your mother's got a good point. What are we doing here? Let's get out of here.
Yeah. What a refreshing viewpoint. It's like, can you just like say that? Matt is just so awesome. Oh, he's just got just real and amazing courage and strength. And he really helped me. I do everything else though. He does the strength. And
same way, which is why we get we're such a good pair.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Did that answer that question? Fell in love. Okay, the next one is, what is on our bucket list, honey? What's on your bucket list?
I don't know. I'd like to see Hawaii and see Alaska, which probably we'll do next year. I like to go back to Long Island. I like in the summertime. I enjoy going to the beach, body surfing there, walking the beach, clamming, getting some clams, eating clams. I mean, the whole kind of thing where I grew up and had so much enjoyment there. So I definitely want to go back and visit that next summer too.
That would be nice. No skydiving or anything like that.
Nah.
My bucket list. I never think about that, but I probably should. Since we left the Sea Org, we're pretty much nose down in whatever we're doing, and but now recently we've been able to take a little bit more breaths and relax a bit. And like he went swimming today while I was cleaning the house.
In fact, you didn't pass your white glove inspection, which we need to talk about later.
I was doing the dishes. But anyway, where's the tissue box here? Anyway, so what I think on the bucket list, I mean, I want to do an East Coast trip because I would like to see Maine.
Yeah, I want to show you the Northeast.
Yeah, the Northeast.
New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. They're gorgeous states.
Yeah, because I've never been up that direction. I've been up the West Coast many times, but and across the country many times, in the center and the top and the bottom, but I haven't done the East Coast. So I'd like to see that. I want to do a cruise that's the Mediterranean cruise, like Greece, and Italy was one of my favorite places that I've ever been. So I would like to someday maybe do something like that.
Sure.
I would like to also see Israel, but anyway, I don't know timing wise or anything like that, if any of that's going to happen, but some kind of, world travel type of things would be fun, I think. Yes. Okay. So that's that question. Bucket list. We should probably work on making a proper bucket list and then start checking things off. What do we do for fun? That's the next question.
Let's see. We do
poker. That's what he does.
I like to play poker. We like to travel
every week.
Yeah.
Our lives surround, like he's got to be Mondays. That's it. It's poker night. So
it's real simple. It's like a $10 buy and you get chips, with a bunch of, other guys that are like 900 years old and they're women and stuff like that. So everybody's talking about their aches and pains, and in between we play poker. That's kind of what happens.
No, but what do you like? What do you do for fun?
I like sports, poker, travel,
sports,
reading.
Meaning watching it. He doesn't play.
I love watching the mixed martial arts.
I was gonna say, when's the UFC gonna come up? So that's like an everyday occurrence in our house.
I pretty much watch it every day. Even on the computer, watch the old fights and stuff like that. I love it.
Yeah, if something new isn't on, the reruns are playing. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he's like UFC all the way. I know most of these guys just because it's always on in the house. And I like that you get enjoyment out of that. Yeah. So, that's why, even though it's not my favorite thing in the world to see people pounding their faces and blood splattering on the mats, it's something that you enjoy. So I like that you like that. What do I do for fun? We live in a community where there's a beautiful swimming pool out on the lake, and it's really nice and tranquil, and I like spending time there. And I enjoy
the dogs.
That's my go-to.
Yeah,
is my doggies. They're both. I figured out something that they really like, which is Kongs. They're these big Kongs that you can fill with things and then put it in the freezer. So I put chicken and their dry food, and it gets all hard in the freezer, and then they work on getting it out. So that's what they're working on right now. As soon as it's all done, though, you'll see that they're going to want to be over here. Let's see. I am starring as well. So what else? I do all kinds of different things that I personally enjoy. Like I love listening to music. I've got lots of different favorites. Anyway, okay. How do we keep our spirits up despite fair game?
I think we're just normally kind of happy people, for one thing. And we, you know, as far as fair game, it kind of inspires us to keep on speaking out and keep on persisting on exposing Scientology. I mean, I haven't spoken to my brother now for almost 20 years.
I know.
It's like, and I just found out that he's been living in Clearwater for the last 2 years. Yeah. Well, anyway,
I know.
It's terrible. And so these kind of things piss me off and make me work harder to expose Scientology, believe me.
Yeah, they still have our family in their grip, you know, and it's not okay. And a lot of other families. So we speak for those people who can't speak out, and we're going to keep speaking out for ourselves as well. You know, Scientology, you need to stop doing that. That is the thing that is just so heart-wrenching about what they do. They do all kinds of things that are just annoying and you know, abusive or controlling and all this that rips your hearts out, and it's just horrendous. They need to stop it.
Yeah. So we try to enjoy our life despite all that, which we do. And by being happy and doing well in life, I know it drives Miscavige crazy. You know, he would love to see us like, you know, little crybabies out here or something, which we're not. We're exposing him, exposing Scientology, and enjoying our lives at the same time.
Yeah. Totally enjoying our lives at the same time as trying to make theirs a living hell because of what they do, the families. Anyway, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't talk about. And I'm just so happy that it's continuing to escalate.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is, did we ever consider adopting after leaving? I'll answer that. So, no. The reason why is because I was 42 years old, and well, that doesn't make any difference, does it? Really? It was because I left with like 25 cents in my pocket. And so we were at a dead run, couldn't think of anything besides working for several years until we had could save up any money whatsoever. And I did adopt dogs, a lot of different dogs, and got them homes and took care of dogs because that was just where my heart was at. I wasn't really prepared at that point to adopt a child. I mean, it's sad that I was never able to have children because Scientology, in the Sea Org, you can't have children. But I wouldn't have wanted really to have a child in the Sea Org, so it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise. So I don't regret that too much, even though I'm sad when I see somebody having a child out here now, because it's something that as a woman you kind of want to have, you know, or I felt like a part of me is missing. But I just share my love with everybody. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dogs. They test me though every once in a while. Okay, so would we still be in Scientology if it weren't for David Miscavige?
No. I mean, I can say, I had done all the way up through OT7, and there was no longer a carrot, you know, like some kind of mystery or some kind of promise that something crazy was going to happen. You're going to get all these, you know, OT abilities to be at cause over matter, energy, space, and time, go exterior, these kind of things. It was all, I already found out, it was all bullcrap. It wasn't true. So that was over with. And then I remember RTC ordered the captain to announce at the staff meeting that this was in about, I guess, 2002, that there would be no special schedules for the old and the sick. If you couldn't do the full schedule, you know, the 80 hours a week kind of work, that you would be put out in the street. You would get a fitness board turned down. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, it just really woke me up that there's like you're not in a union or something. You don't have any kind of like contract or whatever. It was kind of like the agreement you thought that you'd be taken care of in your old age or whatever. And then that just changed, bam, on a dime, you know, like here it was being announced. Yeah, you've been here for 45 years and you can't do 80 hours no more. good luck. Get your butt out of here because you're no use to us anymore. And that really woke me up. And I really knew at that moment, I need to get the heck out of here while I'm still young enough to build a future, build a life for myself. So no, Dave Miscavige helps push people out because of the insanity that he pushes. But I was not going to stay in there anymore. I already knew I had to get out of there.
Yeah, that's a good point on the old people. And now there's probably, I don't know how many old people
I'm told there's 200 right now at the hacienda that are either can't work at all or they're on a really reduced schedule and they're not allowed to leave. Like you can't go down. Dunkin' Donuts is right down the street. They can't go walk out of the complex there at the Hacienda Gardens apartment complex and go down and have a coffee and a donut. They're locked in there, and that's how it is, you know. I don't really have a solution what I'm going to do. I mean, somebody met with me this last week on that, like what the heck, but the only thing I can do on an immediate basis is to make them accountable and let them know they're being watched on what they're doing to these people and how they're treating these elderly people. And just like we made them accountable for the abortions, we made them accountable for the Rehabilitation Project Force, which is kind of like their mind control labor camps. And we exposed so much about that they canceled that. They have like a lower level, they call it the Dex Project Force now, which is a lot less militant, I guess you could say, less controlling. So we can create changes inside there by exposing their crimes to the outside world, and so that's what I'm going to try to do. Keep the light shown on what they're doing to the elderly people.
I find it hard to believe that they canceled the RPF. I mean, maybe.
They definitely canceled it in Clearwater.
They waited until I did it 4 times. I know it's this one. This one. And you just have to turn it all the way the other way. They waited until I did the RPF 4 times for them to cancel it.
Yeah.
So you have to flip it all the way the other way. Yeah. Normally we do this at nighttime so we don't have sun. Yeah, that's exactly right. That did it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I look great. That's really good.
I have more lights if we need them. But anyway, so okay. So would I still be in Scientology if it weren't for DM? Did I answer that? No is the answer. Absolutely, I would not be in Scientology because it didn't start with him. It's the policies of L. Ron Hubbard that make the place so psychotic. It didn't help that there was a complete sociopath at the top of the organization. But yeah, I wouldn't be there. All right, the next one is, okay, so you can answer this one, which is, how do you know the leaks aren't feeding false information?
All right, without giving too much information, the people that are leaking, I know them, and they wouldn't intentionally give false information to me, but it's possible for them to give wrong information. And I'll tell you why. Because you have 1,500 people at the Clearwater flag base there, and there's people always coming and going. You have the place is way spread out. You have different organizations. And I mean, if the person's job is to cook at the Fort Harrison, they haven't gone to the sandcastle ever, maybe. And they don't know what's happening with the old people taking care of the cats at the hacienda. I mean, everything's so spread out and compartmented that it's possible. I ask them a question about somebody and they tell me what they think is happening with that person or happened to that person, but it's possible it could be wrong. Luckily, the people that are telling me have been there for a long enough time and had high enough positions where they have a pretty good idea about different people. But I mean, for instance, I had said in an earlier video that Tom Pope was still working at the mill, the furniture mill that's about a mile down Fort Harrison Avenue. And then somebody corrected and said they knew that Tom Pope had left, and he left with his wife, and he had changed his name, and they told us where he lived, and we checked on the computer, and sure enough, there's Tom with his wife and his property up in Washington State, and happy as he could be with playing with his dog. And so, I mean, so it's possible I could say something that's wrong, but it's not being intentionally fed that way. That's my answer.
Good. Okay. And then the next question is, What can someone do to help the stranded seniors? I don't really know.
Yeah, just like I just covered, really, all I can do, what I can think of on an immediate basis is just to let Scientology know we're aware what's the situation is. We have a leaker and leakers inside that are, feeding information out of you. You better be nice to these people, and we're going to follow it up, and we're going to expose you do something weird with these guys. And that's the main thing we can do right now.
Good. Okay, so now I'm going to go to starred questions. And so that was my list from just when I asked earlier today to my members to give me some questions. Those were great. So now I'm going to go to the starred questions. So this is Sandy Yerkins Powers question. Why are the people inside saying what is going on? What is happening inside that is making them question you?
All right. You got two different major groups within Flag. You have the old timers who know what should be happening, and they see these different major causes like the St. Briefing cost, the life orientation cost, the key to life cost, these kind of things that were canceled by David Miscavige. They see that trying to get any kind of time off is becoming harder and harder and harder over the years. They're getting more and more restricted. So they're unhappy with what they see. That's the old timers. Then you got the people that are being recruited out of Russia and the Ukraine and these countries, which is a lot. They've literally recruited hundreds of people from the Ukraine and Russia. They give them all these promises. They bring them to Flag. And then before they know it, they're like little slaves working morning to night. They don't get any time off. They can't spend time with their wife, and they get yelled at, they get driven, and they start feeling like they were lied to. They were tricked, and those guys have been emptying out of there, but it's not always so hard and so easy for them to get out of there. So they're disaffected basically, and they're willing to speak out about what they see and what's happening.
Good. Okay. Question, would you please address the satanic aspect? Hubbard spoke in depth about it, and I've only found one ex-member who addresses it. So this is from Mary R. There's a book, Barefaced Messiah by Russell Miller. That book covers that whole aspect. And, because L. Ron Hubbard was totally into that stuff, apparently. It's amazing. In Scientology, you get these Ron mags, right? L. Ron Hubbard, the explorer, L. Ron Hubbard, the nautical genius, L. Ron Hubbard, the writer. And it's got all these glowing things about him and his amazing family. And you don't know that he's been married 3 times and has 7 children, let alone the fact that a lot of his early research was Aleister Crowley, wonderful. So it's very satanic. There wasn't a lot of rituals or some sort of thing in Scientology. Like we didn't have a clue that was the case. I do think that it's Satan that runs the place because the place is just so evil. But I hope that answers your question. And Barefaced Messiah is one book. I'm sure it's covered in many others too, but that's one for sure that people can look up on that subject. This one is question, Amy, in your book, Wendell was so good to you. Did he get in big trouble for trying to help? This is from Tammy Rue. Oh, that's so sweet of you to ask. Yes, very much so. He got in big, big trouble. He was put in the hole and was in the hole, which is the lockdown of all the executives at the int base for years, and where people beat each other up and all this kind of stuff. It's all been documented. If you look at, I have a video on my channel of Debbie Cook's testimony, and it's got visual aids, I guess, in the description of what the hole was like, and he was in there if you want to look that up. But I'm sorry, Wendell, but you got in trouble for, see, the stupid thing is, why did is telling them anything, because I'm just going to get in trouble for it. I was so stupid to reveal anything. But anyway, oh well. They made me give all the money back that he had given me to help get me, that I can get started in life with $900 or whatever. I had to give it back. And I'm sure it didn't go to Wendell. I'm sure Scientology confiscated it. But anyway, sadly, he did get in big trouble. Yes. All right. So Mary M. Greetings from Munich, Germany. Matt and Amy are such beautiful, inspiring, compassionate speakers. Love their work. Thank you so much. Catherine Baxter. I've asked about some others, but want to know also about Molly Bornstein and her daughter Jessica. I think you wrote those down.
I wrote the names. I don't know who they are, but I'll try to find out about them. Hopefully, if they're from the Flag Land Base, I'll have a better chance of getting information.
Yeah. This is from Jill Harrison. Matt, please write a book. You have so much to say.
Yeah, it's true.
Bam.
Yeah.
You've been working on it. 1 second. I have to unstar, hide, and then unstar. Okay. Crazy Nana, 1959. Question: how did you find Christian from Scientology to faith? Yeah, that's a story. So if you go to my channel, and there's a tribute to my brother in there, and it's my whole testimony. So also, if you write to me, Amy at Scobee-publishing.com, I can give you the links if it's hard for you to find. So yeah, because that's a story and a half, and it's totally unusual, something I had no expectancy about. In fact, I would have rejected any thought in that direction, but God had other plans for me, that's for sure. Okay. Question: can you give us a teaser of one Little Dicky story?
Well, basically, once we got out of the Sea organization and kind of got our feet on the ground after about a year or so, we started traveling around to see other ex-Sea Org members that were on the outside. We were able to contact them via the computer. And as we went to each of these different people who were veterans from the international Scientology base in California, they gave us a lot of information and kind of woke us up about what was going on there, and David Miscavige and all that. So I kind of took that information and made simple little stories and fed little pieces of it out at a time that people could read and get some information about David Miscavige in particular, and without having to get real deep or complex about it. And that's kind of what the Little Dicky stories are about.
Good.
Yeah.
I just want to go. Hi, Liz. I just noticed you there. Okay, so back over to the stars. Let's see. Yeah, that's what they're about. But anyway, we'll get the stories read, to you guys pretty soon.
I mean, most of the information has been released over the years, but it was new news back then.
Yeah,
and
it was.
We had to do it under the radar, and people were like, "Who is this person that's leaking this stuff?" And
it was big news back then. Yeah. I'm sure all of it's even
all of it's known
but
now,
but it'll be fun to read them and kind of just take people back, because it's a part of history. Take people back during that time. But anyway, and tell you what was going on and what happened after we revealed them and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. It says things I learned from Amy's book: don't confess to going out too deep while on the RPF. Exactly. Yeah.
Don't confess to anything. don't ever rat on yourself or someone else. Just kind of like,
especially in Scientology.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, just
They will use it against you 100%. Oh, funny. Okay, MCAS. If you could go back in time and never join Scientology, even if it meant never meeting each other, would you? Oh, what a question.
I don't regret anything that happened in my life, really. I don't. It was all a lesson. I learned from it. So I'm here today with Amy. I'm healthy. What do I have to complain about? So I wouldn't change.
I have a lot to complain about.
I wouldn't change. I'm okay with my life and the route I took. I'm okay with it.
If I could do it all again with my newfound understanding.
But you wouldn't have that understanding if you hadn't gone through that journey. Yeah. So,
it's a theoretical. So I don't know. am so happy that I'm with him. So,
Yeah.
and my journey made me who I am today. And even though my body is completely shot because of that stupid place, um,
And I don't feel
you know,
bad about myself, anything that I went through. My thing is for other people. Like I don't like other people being tricked and abused and stuff. I don't like that. So that's why I speak
yeah,
out.
and I don't want my family being ripped apart either.
All right.
So it is personal.
Yeah.
Bam. Okay. Linda, my friend Linda, PA girl 913. Question: will they harass people looking for the leaks? What would be their punishments if they are found out? Love you guys.
Hung upside down in the basement. No, I'm not. Will they harass? Yes.
They're going to be searching.
They're
For sure.
searching. They're searching. They're trying to find.
Putting everybody on the e-meter.
Yeah, and looking for any possible ways I could be getting this information. Who do I know on the inside? What are they doing? Who's this affected? I mean, they're sniffing around.
Questionnaires. Is there anyone who knows Matt Pesch?
Yeah, I mean, they're sniffing around. They're going to look at their cameras and see,
Into.
yeah, times I'm close to their properties and things like that. So that's definitely happening. And I realized that my connection to the leakers is fragile, because of that. Also, because it takes a while to strip off all the, false information and programming you get while you're in the indoctrination. So to actually try to strip off those layers while still being in the Sea Org is really difficult. I mean, you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're trying to sort your brain out. It's hard. So I don't take for granted the leaks, and hopefully I can get enough information out to help people, but it's fragile.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just so happy that they feel that you're safe to tell, even though we then tell the world, but it's good. It needs to happen.
I know.
And I think that they realize that too. And that's why that they tell you, you know?
Yeah.
KB, IKR question mark. I don't know what that means. KB. Amy was too honest for her own good. Is there such a thing? Yeah, too trusting in an organization that was really an abusive cult.
Yeah.
Japan of Green Gables. Question: when did the SO stop wearing the naval uniforms publicly and why? They did stop wearing them, right? Yes. Well, not all of them, because if you go on a Sea Org mission and you wear a full Class A, and it doesn't matter where you go, Class A is the full dress uniform, lanyard and jacket and whatever else. But at Flag in Clearwater, they did stop, and I heard Karen Schless Presley do a video about this, not on this subject, but she talked about it in her video with Claire, and she was talking about, it was the first Where is Shelley video that she did, and she was talking about, it was Lisa McPherson time period in the Clearwater area, and it was bad public relations for people to be running around in their naval uniforms. And so she was rushed out to Clearwater to figure out getting everybody into something that was more acceptable.
Yeah, the general public, non-Scientology public, hated it. I mean, when they went to do the survey to see how the general public felt about those uniforms, I volunteered to do that on a Saturday.
To do the survey?
To do the survey. The first lady I stopped was a woman that was about 70 years old. She grew up in Clearwater, and I asked her, I'm dressed not like a Scientologist, but I'm just like clipboard. I'm going to do a question. How do you feel about, when you see the Scientologists wearing the uniforms? And she said, I just want to pull my car over and punch them in the face. And I'm like, okay, I see where this is going, Yeah, no, they didn't like it at all. And I literally had people jump out of cars and fight me because I had the friggin' uniform on. So, I mean, yeah. I actually went into a bar one time wearing that white uniform on a dare into a biker bar on a Friday night around midnight.
You would.
I did. I went in there. I'll tell that story sometime, but I raised hell in there. But it was fun. Yeah. Anyway, that uniform could definitely get people going.
Then they got crayon colored, uniforms, which anyway, sorry, Karen, I thought they were ridiculous, but that's a whole story in itself. Anyway, but still they wear because it's the Sea Organization and it's traditional and everyone's got their rank and rating. It's so fake. It's unbelievable. But anyway, here's the next one. Japan of Green Gables again. Question. With the news that broke about Norman Starkey, and for anyone who doesn't know, Norman Starkey was the trustee of L. Ron Hubbard's estate, and he passed away in 2019. And we didn't know that until the news recently broke over on Mitch's channel, Mitch Brisker. And since they were in the same retirement home for a while, do we know if Heber Gents is okay? No, we don't have any word on that.
That's one of the weird things about Scientology is they don't tell people when somebody dies. Even other staff, you've known the guy for 40 years. Nobody's going to announce that it's because it's considered like a distraction to your production. You're supposed to just concentrate on production. So you don't need to know that somebody that you know died. Even a family member, like you won't be passed on information. You can have a family member like working in Los Angeles and you're working at Flag and that family member dies. Nobody contacts you to let you know that. I mean, you might have to find out about it a year later on some kind of weird line or something. It's, and then you got the other thing, which is sometimes they'll lie to somebody and say that, yeah, your dad died, so you don't have to worry about seeing him anymore. And then they'll find out. Paris. Yeah, you'll find out, no, the person, your dad didn't die, 15 years ago. He's still alive, but Scientology lied, about it. They're so nasty ass on this stuff. I mean,
it's like use you until they don't need you anymore and abuse you. Okay, Tiffany Sayer, I guess. Matt and Amy, what was it like to get to know each other in the real world?
It was just fun.
A total adventure.
Yeah. I mean, right away, we went out to the grocery store. We bought some ice cream and some soda. We made ice cream. Yeah, root beer floats. And we rented a couple of movies to watch on the video. And it was just fun. Yeah. It was just fun. It was just the whole world opened up and we
had some wine because you don't drink it there. We got wine and root beer floats.
It just, it was just fun. Just the whole world opened up. Anything you wanted to do. I mean, we sat down with the yellow pages to see what kind of jobs we might want to. Yeah, Dairy Queen, like looking through the yellow pages, like maybe we would like to do this kind of work, maybe we do that kind of work, just ideas, and we were just having fun.
Oh, it was a joy. It was just a joy. Because the freedom just washed over us. Like we don't have to get up at a certain time. We don't have to stand at a muster. We don't have to be interrogated about every single mistake. It's really funny. Like, if he at all had an attitude to me, I would just buck right on, wouldn't I? Yeah. Like, oh my God, and but all that fell off. And anyway, there's a lot of stories about our evolution of changing in our minds and outlook on everything over the years.
Especially work. I mean, we felt like
work.
We had to work from morning till night, 7 days a week. Or we didn't know what to do with ourselves if we had a minute, to not work. That's kind of how it was until we had to like really learn to slow ourselves down. And I would tell you, it took 1 decade to do that. Really.
Funny because I would say he'd be watching his fights, and I'm like, how many times can you still see this person punching?
Well, I'd come in from the shop, fixing furniture out there to resell. And I'd come in just to take a lunch break. And I'd sit down for like 5-10 minutes while I'm eating something. And Amy's like, isn't there something you can be doing? And I'm like, hey, I mean, come on. People in the real world here, they get like a 10-minute, 15-minute lunch break, Give me my 10, 15-minute lunch break,
I couldn't stand to hear the TV going in the middle of the afternoon.
That's how much we were like indoctrinated, really.
And then his mom and dad came and lived with us for 2 months. Okay, she watched tennis all day long. Okay, and they just the whole day. It drove me psychotic. Just sitting there watching the TV. Anyway, I couldn't. I was just so broken. But anyway, I'm almost over that though, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
I don't really do that so much anymore. I enjoy telling him when he says, "Hey, what's going on?" Saying nothing. Literally nothing. And that's okay. That it's, he's not gonna like write a idle report on me or something like that, Anyway, it's fun. Okay, whoops, next one. that was it. So now I'm going this one. Betsy Sue. Betsy Sue. I could listen to you read a cereal box.
Thank you.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
fun.
Thank you. This one is Tarkina Meyer. I love to hear your laugh, Amy. Oh, you are so full of joy. You and Matt are so amazing together. I agree.
I agree.
I really super, and so did you. So lucked out.
You twisted my arm.
Yeah. Say it. What this means, it says, question, please go live. Make sure you put it out there. I've missed every live. Please go live.
Probably wants to do more lives. I don't know.
Oh, do more lives? Yeah, we don't do a lot of them because usually the dogs are a problem. And then plus I like to be able to edit. You know, I don't know. We haven't done a lot of lives.
Yeah, we've done a few. We'll do some more.
Yeah, we'll do some more. So far, so good on the dogs. I can't believe it. So far, so good. All right.
Those sleeping pills worked.
Sleeping pills, right? Honey. Okay. Skipper, the geriatric chihuahua. Oh, okay. What? Says Scientology is a religion. I don't know what stat parallels is. This is a continuing education for healthcare professionals. What do you think? Link in chat. I don't know what that means.
You know, something a lot of people don't know, especially Scientologists and Sea Org members. There's only a handful of countries in the world that recognize Scientology as a religion. A handful. And something that Mike Rinda posted about a week ago was that in England, the Church of Scientology has been trying to get a status of religious recognition there so that they can have tax exemption. And the way it works in England is you have to prove to them that you have some worth to society if you're going to be tax exempt. And Scientology has tried over and over again to prove that, and they've never been able to prove it. And they've tried it so many times that they're not allowed to they've used up all the times that they could try to prove it. So, you know, the IRS needs to take note. I mean, if England looked into this so many times and Scientology cannot show that it has any value to society, what the heck are we giving them tax exempt status for over here in the United States?
Big time. And Apostate Alex did a great video on that whole subject. So I like his content. He's a natural news reporter.
Yep.
Anyway, I found that very helpful. And people should go and look at that. Okay. So then the next one is from the Holy Rogue. Question, Amy, can I ask you questions about Christianity? I, too, am an ex-Scientologist who is Christian now. Oh, fantastic. You know, that's very rare. And of course you can. Of course you can. Amy at Scobee-publishing.com. Write to me anytime. A lot of people do. If I don't answer right away, it's because I got a lot of messages, but I will absolutely gladly speak to you about that. Japan of Green Gables again. Question, given that Germany has been so critical and proactive about Scientology, why did Ron's org, Bill Robertson, take off there? Germany. Did it take off there? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, no information, but I could ask.
We never really got the information on Bill Robinson, what he did and how that went after he left. I mean, we knew him from the international base, but we didn't know what happened after he left.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Okay, Tarkina Meyer, question, Matt. Would love to see you write a book about the financial fiasco that is Scientology. You have so much dirt having been on the finance board, etc.
Yes, I do. I will cover that. It's a nasty subject that got way worse. It just, I don't know, you know, how criminality kind of, somebody gets away with something, they go further and further and further. And that's kind of Scientology. It went to the max. So yeah, until the point where Miscavige realized he was going to wind up in prison for the RICO Act, running an organized crime syndicate that was ripping people off big time across the whole planet. So yeah, so that chapter's not done yet. And the IRS and different organizations FBI, Homeland Security. I mean, these people are still very interested in the subject, very interested in Miscavige. want to know where the places are that he stays, how, what escape routes would he have from those different things? What are the logistics of him traveling? What kind of stuff does he eat? Where does it come from? I mean, they're not writing a biography about the man. They're getting ready to snag that sucker, and it will happen. Yeah.
Okay, Dave, if you're watching, better come clean. Okay, so here's another one. It says, Dennis Avery. Hey, Sister Amy, this is the first ever podcast chat I've done. Wow. I hope you get this. I did get it. I started because I saw you ask that question. So you're finding Jesus or him finding you, and the love you give others is so meaning awesome. Yes, it is so awesome. And and it is him finding me. That is for sure. I think he already knew where I was. But
we totally feel blessed. Really, we really
so blessed.
Feel so protected and watched out for and directed, and we kind of feel it's our mission at this point to expose Scientology. Like that. That's one of the purposes we're
put on this path. Yeah. It is a divine assignment. I mean, because we went through what we went through, so people can learn from what we expose about our experience, and what we can share is our experience, and it's extensive. 27 years. So yeah. From the age of 14, and I guess you were 18 or something, right? 20. Yeah. Okay. So Kaz Fern's question, very off topic, but some time ago, somebody mentioned a great recipe for beans. Was that y'all or the Headleys? Did I just dream of that? It was the Headleys. CC's Country Cooking, and Claire. It's Claire's recipe, and I think CC Country Cooking did a video about it. Okay. Next, CHR Anderson question: can I pre-order your books? Man, let's get them. When I get them to the point where they're going to go into production, then we'll do something like that. But that's a ways off, because we're busy doing all these different videos and not writing. But we'll get there. Betsy Sue question: Matt, did I hear you correct that you're writing a book too? Yes. And Danielle Chamberlain: as a child, if LRH threw a temper tantrum, if it scared me so much. Did you ever meet Elcon Hubbard? And if so, did you hear him ranting? No, but we got a million stories about it. Yes, I know, Danielle. I'm so sorry that you went through all the crap that you went through as a kid. I've heard the story. I feel for you. Yeah. And thank God that you're out. The next one is Tiff 45 question. And this is new member, so that's wonderful. Question: how long were you guys twins before you decided boom chicka? Not very long.
Not very long at all.
Yeah. November, December, probably 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. About 2 months.
I mean, it's not that we didn't already have it in our minds that
people were writing reports on us.
Yes.
We even looked at each other sideways. It was crazy.
It was so obvious to everybody that we were going to like
hook up.
Because we were perfect for each other, and then we got along together so well. People were ready writing knowledge reports like, "Hey, watch out, these two guys. Keep on eyeing them."
I didn't even do anything yet. But good idea.
Good idea. Thanks for the tips.
Oh, I wanted to put this one up here because this is my beautiful friend, Wendy Brooks. You're watching. Hi, Wendy. You two are so damn cute. I've known Wendy my whole life, and she's just such a beautiful person. And when I left Scientology, she found me, and we got back together, and she's just my precious, precious friend. And she said, I lost you once, and it's never going to happen again.
Dogs out of that little tree.
Okay. I'll do the next question.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, Wendy. Anyway, I love you. The next question is for you, so I'll go on to another one. What does this one say? This is Danielle. I was cleaning our fridge today and had a trigger come up reminding me of white gloves. Do you still get triggered? Oh, yeah, totally. I totally get triggered. I get so upset about disconnection. And I also don't like people shutting me up too. I get triggered about that. Like, I won't tell you examples because I don't want to, throw anybody under the bus, but sometimes people will say, try to shush me up or something like that. Oh, it triggers me because I am able to communicate now what my truth is, you know. Okay, I'll tell you who it was. It was Matt's sister. Because, like, she doesn't want me to say anything about Scientology anywhere in that a public person, like any person in the general public, could hear it. I'll stand on the freaking rooftop. That's my viewpoint, and so I hate being shut up. And so, anyway, it's just gradients of people coming out too. So she can't totally have it. Whatever. I still love her.
What question was it? Was it
None of your business, honey. No. She just want to know. This is Danielle Chamberlain. She says, I was cleaning our fridge today and had a trigger come up reminding me of.
Oh, no, I heard that. But you said we passed a question that was for me.
Oh, honey. Anyway, and I also get triggered when I get cut off when I'm saying something. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Okay. So we're done with that. Do you still get triggered?
What? Me?
Do you still get triggered? Yeah.
No, nothing triggers me. I'm perfect.
Nothing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, how's that?
I sometimes say, any of us that were in the Sea Org for like, 25 years, this kind of stuff, we're all kind of damaged goods in some way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all have triggers. We all have things that we had to like correct ourselves about. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You can't be in there for 25 years and not have something like a little crooked inside your brain,
And it's different for everybody
Yeah, it's
too.
different.
Some
It's different
things,
for
some things are like, it's just like, what's the big deal, And I'm like, or I'm like, oh, technical things for him trigger him. Yeah, that's my department. Okay, so that's that one. Here's the next one. Okay, Matt, do you ever get a fun urge to mess with the cult and walk on down by the flag on way to daily destinations? Everyone seems to know you. We don't even live. We're an hour away.
Yeah, but I mean, I really don't mess with them too much because
what is that going to do?
Yeah, it's not going to really help anything. But I like to rattle Miscavige's cage via the stuff that we put up on the computer. That kind of
but it's not just rattling though.
No, it's true stuff. But I know that these kind of things upset him. Like I might say, RTC, and which stands, it's his organization, and I won't say what the real thing. I go, it's religious. No. I don't know, tender chicken or something. I don't know. So I know, because I know
you say religious technical center.
Yeah, or something. I mess it up, and I know that kind of thing would just piss him off. And I kind of enjoy it.
Anyway,
the little stuff. Yeah,
the little stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so Danielle again. Question. Nope, I'm sorry, I didn't unstar that one. So this is Susan B, also new member. Thank you. How long after COS, and COS, for anyone who doesn't know, stands for Cult of Scientology. The Cult of Scientology. Did you become a Christian? It wasn't until, so I left Scientology in March of 2005, and that didn't happen. God touched me when it was in 2018. So all the way until 2018. So it's pretty recent. Okay. Salty Beach Girl, Lori, question. Is there a reason so many people who have escaped stay so close or in Clearwater? Does that make the fair gaming easier? I don't think so many people do that, actually. But just because, we came here because of his family.
Yeah, I have 2 sisters that live in the area. Plus, my parents were living about 45 minutes from downtown Clearwater, and they had nothing to do with Scientology, but that was where they were retired to. So it's kind of why we kind of keep pulling back towards Clearwater. For us personally, the other guys, it's just interesting. You're right, because Mike Rinder and his wife are both living close.
And I know that Mike has said why was because of the hope of getting, because his son Ben works here, and then I think the reason why Erin was here is because of family too, her family. But then they disconnected, but that's where they live. So, and then he was running for the local government and stuff like that, sticking it to Scientology. But
Yeah.
other than that, I don't think many people come. I don't know. I don't actually know the answer.
I think one of the things too is if you've been here for like 2-3 decades, like you start getting, you have people that you know here. Your family tends to be here. Your history seems to be here, so it has an attraction to you. I think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I was in California for 20 years. I liked California, but I wouldn't want to go back there. I did for a little bit, and we were like, we are so out of here. What are we doing? Okay, enjoy the silence. So, questione. A lot of you stayed a while in Scientology and did not go far on the bridge, though you were a part of the SO, the most dedicated. So, what did you believe in Scientology that made you stay in? I'll let you answer that.
All right. Unfortunately, it's very true that Sea Org members don't progress very much in Scientology as far as what they call the bridge, like the auditing and stuff like that. The reason is because it's valuable to the organization to have their auditors audit public that will pay for it, pay hundreds of dollars or even $1,000 an hour for it. So they're not going to take somebody who's trained as an auditor and then turn them loose on auditing staff because it's potential money that's not being made. So one of the ways me and Amy progressed was because we went to the Rehabilitation Project Force, and you twin up and you what's called co-auditing, where you audit somebody and they audit you, and that kind of helped progress us along a little bit. And then I'm kind of like a wheeler dealer, and I wheel and dealed my way through.
Wheeled and dealed.
You know, to get some of the OT levels. But if you look at the organization board and they have next to it, like where somebody is on the quote bridge, you'll see that it's like purification rundown, you know, did the running program or something. You know, it's like all these little basic bottom line things. Hardly anybody moves along, which is one of the reasons people then tend to leave pretty fast, because they get the idea that what they were promised they were going to get or what happened to them doesn't happen, and they're just going to be little worker bees, and they say, yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we did go up the bridge all the way to OT7, but that isn't what kept us in. That's for sure, because that was kind of crazy. But what kept us in was the whole idea that we were helping mankind.
I mean, one of the things that did keep me in, like, I was always curious. I mean, you know, do these OT levels really work? Do they give you some of the stuff that's being promised? You know, some people, you know, at graduation and stuff, they would say the most ridiculous things that they had attained and stuff. And you think, oh, you know, did the person really, that happen to this person? And then when you're in long enough and then you do it, you realize no. And then you get to know these people that said this kind of thing. And you go, yeah, no, they were crazy. You know them personally. They're like,
a few screws loose.
They got some screws loose. I mean, you don't get any of that stuff from Scientology. It's all a lie. It's a con. So, you know, but it does, if you believe it or you're curious or you can chase it and try to chase after that carrot, and that'll keep you around sometimes for a while.
Yeah. Good. Okay, back to the stars. Lots of questions in the chat. I'm trying to go back and forth so that I can answer them. Okay, so Betsy Sue says, did your bodies have to adjust to balanced meals? Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was weird. I put on weight right away because I never ate in Scientology, like hardly, because you had 15-minute meal breaks, and then you had to be back at the muster location within that 15 minutes. And so you just scarf down a couple little things, and they almost never had desserts or anything. So you just like have a little protein, like a piece of chicken with a salad or something like that, and run. But anyway, now everything was open for.
Yeah, you can go to restaurants, you can eat whatever you want. You can snack, you can, you know, whatever.
Restaurants. I mean, how fun is that? We used to, and we lived right down the street from a casino that had the most amazing buffets. Yeah, like, you know, crab, mountains of crab and everything. the dessert buffet was my favorite. I would go like, okay, I'm going to get one little piece of chicken, then I'm going to go to the dessert buffet.
One of the things that was hard for us to change when we came out was we'd go out to dinner with like Amy's parents, and the meal would come out and we would eat it in 5 minutes. I mean, really, they were like still getting a napkin out and stuff. We were like done because we were so used to like having to eat so fast.
It was bad, actually.
Yeah, we were trying to slow ourselves down and stuff because we would literally finish the whole meal when they were just like, settling into their chair.
It was bad,
Yeah, really.
because you're going out to dinner to like as like a family occasion or something, and it was just like we're done. And but anyway, that was so funny. I still eat fast,
We still eat, and we intentionally tried to slow ourselves down, but it's so ingrained, I can tell you, because you would get to you get to the meal and you got to wait in line or whatever, and you finally get your food and you have to have it done and you have to have the table cleaned and ready for to have a meeting there, what's called a muster, and you literally have 5-10 minutes to eat a lot of times, and you learn to eat fast.
Amy, you never did anything wrong. I love you, KB. Okay, so let me
just as a point. It's so we're supposed to be, the Sea Org is supposed to be like handling the whole planet so there'll be no war and no insanity and all this kind of stuff, right? And yet so much attention would be put on interrogating each other and finding the minutest you're looking for the minutest stupid stuff. I'm always like, we spend our time like picking fleas off each other, like, how is this help and change anything? It's just ridiculous. And it's kind of what happens in Scientology. All the focus goes in on the people that are the good people, willing to work for nothing to help people.
That's right.
And why are we the ones that are being interrogated all freaking day long? Go do something useful.
Yeah, that is.
Anyway.
Exactly. Okay.
Somebody asked something about the RPF last time. What was that thing?
Huh?
So.
Where are you looking?
Right here.
Okay. Necessary Trouble says, Matt, when you left the RPF the last time, did they do anything to try to physically stop you? Did they let you go peacefully? That's a story. Tell them.
Yeah, no, I mean, as soon as me and Amy said we wanted to leave, of course, you get separated. You get, put under security guard and separated so you can't talk to each other. And when I say under security, I mean, like, I had to sleep like basically in an oversized closet with the security guard outside the door. So if I opened it, I'd bang into the security guard. And then outside that building, that, apartment complex, there was another security guard. And then inside that gated community of apartment complex, there was a roving security guard. And then at the main gate, there was another security guard. And then if you touched the fence, it would set the alarms off, lights would come on. And then if you escaped over the fence somehow, they would chase you down. And if you got away from that, they would send private investigators. I mean, Gary Moorhead talks about when he was in charge of security at the INT base, that they literally hunted down and brought back at least 200 Sea Org members that had somehow escaped from that desert compound. So it's no joke.
And I know people are still trying to escape too.
Yeah. What I did, I finally got sick of it. And I just said, that's it. If me and Amy aren't out of here by tomorrow at lunch, I'm going to grab her. We're going to walk out of this place. You don't have a fence, a gate, a security guard, nothing. I said, if you want to stop me, you're going to have to shoot me in the head. And that's how that went. And I really threw it down hard. And they knew I wasn't playing anymore. And we got out of there. So that's how that went. And I wasn't like, you're not going to chase me down. You're not going to come looking for me. If you want me, I'm here right now. Let's get it done. So that was my attitude.
Yeah, that rocked their world, actually, and they scrambled. But anyway, we tell that story separately.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to know if it was the Hard Rock Casino where we live. No, I'm talking about in Washington State. It was called the Muckleshoot Casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we live close to.
I think they got our pictures on the wall there now.
Yeah, we bought half of the building. Okay, next question? It's Sandy Yerkins Powers question. Are the people inside aware of the big campaigns going on for Bob Ferris and Shelley? I don't know.
Well, check this out. I asked one of the guys that's been at the Flag Land Base for a long time, and he's one of the leakers, right? And I said, okay, what do they tell you about Shelley Miscavige?
Whoops.
And he said, you know what? He said, I had never even heard the name Shelley Miscavige until recently, where he was off the base and a non-Scientology public person just happened to see that he was tied into Scientology and came over to him and said, "Hey, what's happening with Shelley Miscavige?" And he said, "That's the first time I even heard her name." And then it was from there he kind of looked up who she was and all that. But he said, nobody talks about Shelley Miscavige. Nobody talks about Debbie Cook. These kind of things. It's kind of like North Korea. If you start bringing up things like that they don't want spoken about or people to learn about, and you start shooting your mouth off and asking a question or saying something about it, you're done. They're gonna interrogate you. They're gonna make your life hell, and they're gonna shut you down. So it's amazing. You wouldn't think that people could be in the Sea Org for decades and not ever have heard the name Shelley Miscavige, but yes, it's true. That
was hard for me to.
That's how much information control there is in there.
Yeah. Some of these are so kind, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. Back over to the stars. Let's see. Jill Harrison, question: SPTV fundraiser for Mark Bunker? ? Or against campaign law in the U.S. Canadians want to find a way to donate. Canadians. Not. I don't think an SPTV fundraiser, because we're not a network, and we want to keep it that way, because then you can't attack one entity. It's individual people doing their own individual things. Mark might have something where you guys can donate to, but that would be a question for him. And I think his email's public and everything like that. So just, I would contact him directly.
Yeah, between you and him.
And if you can't find that out, then Aaron would know better than us.
Yeah.
Okay. And the next one is question: how would immigration feel about all these Eastern Europeans and Russians being trafficked into USA? Not sure that will go down too well. Love to both of you from the UK.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is right now. I know in the past, Scientology had really lost control of the immigration of their own staff, to the point where there was so many people we couldn't even pay. What we had to do is, like for Treasury, you would take the people that were illegal in your division, and when you got paid, everybody would donate a little bit of their pay, and so it could be passed over to people who were illegal so that they could have some money to buy soap and basic things like that. At one point, I know Scientology went and tried to sue immigration, the U.S. Immigration Office, saying that they had SPs in there and they were, being unfair to Scientology. And I was like, they're not SPs. They're not being unfair to Scientology. We just we don't have we have so many people that are here illegally that, they just want you to do what you're supposed to do. If you're not doing that, then you can have a problem with them. And I try to get that across to OSA because, just give me a break. What happens, just as a point, the financing to take some of these visa and get it updated, it costs money. And that money comes from the financial plan of the organization. The financial plan is so tight, they can't afford to pay for these immigration cycles to be upgraded and updated and stuff. So they fall behind. They go out of date. The person becomes illegal. So then there's a separate way the funding goes for the private investigators and the lawyers. That's a whole separate way the money comes in, and that's coming in, big time. They got tons of money for them. So they have no problem paying these lawyers $5,000, $7,000 a week to go fight and try to sue the immigration office. And at the same time, they don't have, $1,000 to handle 10 staff members. So it's like the arbitrators like that cause Scientology to have problems with the government that they don't need to have. And I don't know what's happening right now over there, but I can tell you in the past it was a zoo. It was just bad.
Okay. And so I'm just adding this banner and saying, I just wrote this banner. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. And also, if you would like a copy of my book, Scientology Abuse at the Top, signed by myself and this guy, then you can order it at scobee-publishing.com.
You gonna give one away?
Let's do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Do it. Okay. So go to the comments, guys. Get on the chat and say, book me, book me, book me. And I will pick a lucky winner and send a book signed by myself and my husband to you. Yeah, let's do it. So let's go to the live chat. So just get it going. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes because it sometimes has a little bit of a lag. Not minutes, I mean seconds. In 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll count down once I start seeing these roll. Here, they're rolling. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't pick you because of your first name. Amy Delp, you win a book. So send me an email, amy@scobee-publishing.com, with your contact information, your address, so that I can send the book out to you right away. Congratulations. Yay.
You're going to put that up later. They can see what it looks like, what the dash looks like, and all that kind of stuff.
I just did that just this second. I said, order my book.
Oh, yeah, you did put it up. Okay, cool. All right, great.
He's slow, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so now let's go back over here and then go to our questions.
Okay.
So here we go. So Gary wants to know, do you think Miscavige himself watches the YouTube channels that you guys and all the other Aftermath OGs run, or will he just get reports from his minions?
A little bit of both, probably.
Yeah.
He definitely gets the reports. There's definitely people in the Office of Special Affairs that's responsible for tracking all the different information that we're leaking out and talking about, and then kind of give him reports back. And I guess if he gets interested enough, he'll watch some of it. What do you think?
I think he's in fear, and I think that he will be watching.
Okay.
And he should be in fear because he's got a lot of skeletons in the closet, and the closet door is opening.
You think he feels fair gamed?
No.
No.
He feels fear because of his crimes.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, baby. Willow Tree says, question mark. Okay. Were you and Matt born into another religious faith before you were indoctrinated into Scientology? No.
I was.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, the Catholic religion.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I had to go to church every Sunday. Went to Catholic, catechism, and on Saturdays, and got communion and confirmation, did all that stuff in the Catholic church. Yeah, my parents
as a little kid.
Yeah, until I was a teenager and stuff, but until I was like 12, 13 years old. But my parents were big time in the Catholic religion. Yeah, they were brought up in it. That's how it was for them, and they kind of passed it on down.
My family didn't have any religion. And after my parents got divorced, my mom, she was working as a draftsman, and one of her co-workers introduced her to Scientology, and then she introduced me to it.
I mean, at a certain point, my parents kind of felt that they were going to have the relationship with God separate from going to the church. One of the things that turned my mom away was that they weren't supposed to get birth control. And my mom's like, yeah, I'm only going to have so many kids. If you don't go to heaven, because the church is saying back then they would say, you were not going to go to heaven if you're using birth control. My mom's like, yeah, I'm going to. It's
relationship, not religion.
That's right.
And also the control. Why do people act as control freaks? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So my parents went their own way with that.
Yeah. But still believe in God.
Big time.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is from a non-A. It says, any advice for people who have PTSD from abuse in Scientology? Did you get therapy? You two were lucky to have each other. Oh, I am, we know that we're super, super blessed and lucky to have each other.
Yeah.
Big time. We did not get therapy. I made a major, major change when I became a Christian. Like, it just was a whole transformation, which I talk about, because I can't even describe to you the change that it made in me, my heart, my spirit, my soul, my everything about me.
It just as a point, we do know some people that went and had therapy, and it really helped them, especially women that were forced to have abortions, things like that, things that like really crushed them. When they went and got therapy outside of Scientology, when they got out of there, it definitely, they say it helped them a lot.
Yes. Yeah. And the Aftermath has resources for that as well.
Yeah.
if needed. And but anyway, so advice for people who have PTSD.
Get it handled. Get help.
Yeah,
there's help out
get
there.
help.
Get it.
And also talk to people who have been there and understand, because that was major therapy for both of us, actually.
Yeah, you're lucky if you like. We have common background, so we can talk to each other about it. It would be really difficult to be out in the world without somebody that you could share what happened with that would understand it. I mean, that would be very difficult.
Yeah, that's why this community is super important, of both X's and never ends, because you get the viewpoint of the shock of people who have never in, which kind of like, oh yeah, that is shocking. And then also just being able to communicate with people who've been there and understand. Anyway, wonderful. So that's that one. There's a new member, Joni Cummings. Awesome. And then you had a question, which is, now that you two are out and you going to your bucket list, I hope meeting us in person is on it. Oh, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's no bucket has to happen for that to happen. Why is it called a bucket list? Yeah, no, something's going to be planned. We've been talking about it, so something will be planned, because yeah, we agree 100%. Our dogs are getting into their seriously playful mode. Okay. Susan Ward, question: how do you keep your anger in check? I get so angry just hearing the stories. Yeah, I know.
Return it towards energy to expose Scientology. That's what we do.
Yeah,
we take that, channel it.
Yeah, we channel it to exposure. I cry sometimes too. A lot of times he doesn't know, because I always try to, he's a tough guy, and I don't like to always let that side of me show, but I do. It really bothers me.
That's another thing we kind of learned from inside, is not to show your emotion, not to say when you're sick, not, like all this kind of stuff. That's why I say, if you're in there long enough, you got little tweaks in your brain.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things.
Yeah. That's a big tweak.
Big tweaker.
Japan of Green Gables again. Question: what was the point of getting a promotion in the ESSA when your life didn't change and you get a breath?
Nothing. Nothing. It didn't matter. I mean, you can get nobody even wanted to be promoted. They would say, okay, listen, it's Sea Org Day, you got to put in for your promotion, and everybody would just go solid, and the captain would be trying to talk people into asking for a promotion. Nobody wanted a promotion, and I tell you, besides not getting any advantage to it, it's not like you get more pay or more time off, or you get to use the officer golf course or something. There's nothing. But what it is another way that you can be harmed. And I learned that really early on. You would get some kind of promotion. You're now a blah, blah. Now somebody's upset with you. Guess what they do? They publicly take away your blah, blah. So it's used to as a way of hurting you, not helping you. So after a while, everybody's like, don't give it to me, because you're just going to screw with me over it.
And moving up in the organization, anyway.
Yeah, people,
you're going to move right back down.
Well, the only reason you move up in the organization is to take more responsibility to help the group. It has nothing to do with you. You're going to get less sleep. You're going to get rolled around and beat up a lot more as you move higher up.
That's for sure.
So, I mean, you do it for the good of the group, not for yourself.
Yeah. Peggy P. Question: Matt, can you tell us how Amy has changed since leaving Scientology? Rumors are she was pretty scary while in. No, it wasn't.
No, she wasn't scary. She wasn't scary. I mean, she had a high executive post, but she was never one of those ones that kind of go pushing people around or trying to get nasty with people. That just never was Amy. So, no.
Never was me. Okay, Katie, what kind of work did you do after leaving Scientology?
It's funny. After we left, we knew that Scientology would try to destroy our lives. That's what you're supposed to do. It's, when you fair game somebody per L. Ron Hubbard policy, you are supposed to ruin the person utterly. So if you go out and get a job working with somebody, they'll come in and try to make you lose your job. They might send sex toys to your office, subscriptions to porno. things like they'll do whatever they can to like disrupt you and hurt you. So the idea was for us to work for ourselves, which we did. What we did was we started going to auctions, buying used furniture, bringing it back, fixing it up, and then posting it on Craigslist. We would deliver it, and we made a good living doing that. So we work for ourselves.
Bought a house doing that.
Yeah. So
yeah. And anyway, and then I mean, I talk about what I do because I'm what's called a celebrant, a life celebrant. So I write people's life stories and deliver funeral services to celebrate people's lives. And I've done close to about 400 funeral services for people. And this is where I learn giving people compassion, which Scientology didn't have, and that every life is important and unique, and everyone goes through hardships, not just Scientologists, and overcome them. And there's learning experiences with everybody. Anyway, I talk all about that somewhere in my videos, but that's what I've been doing for a number of years. Okay, hide current comment. I'm over in the trying to see. Okay, next one. Whoops. This is clarifying, which is tell us when you're going to go on before you read, like the day before. Okay, good. I'll try to be giving you heads up. Okay, the next one. What was your favorite food when you were in? Other than rice and beans.
I mean, your diet is mainly eggs, hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken, meatloaf, pasta. I mean, it's the least expensive type things. And then you got a very small skeleton. Yeah, you got a skeleton crew trying to feed over 1,000 people, and they're trying to get something fast, easy, and something they can be afforded. So that's kind of, you don't really have a big favorite. You know, it's not like, whoa, having like something special tonight. Not too often.
Sometimes they would make spanakopita, like really unusual, but boy, did I like that with the filo dough and then the spinach and feta cheese. Honey, I need to go to a restaurant. Let's do that for my birthday. We're going to go to a Greek restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Miranda Brinker, question. Matt for book 1 and Amy for book 2. Will you be recording your own Audible? Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Sorry about the first one, but I got it out there. At least it was out there. I didn't know. Whatever. Okay. So now that's done. All right. We will on our next one.
Yeah, we will.
I still don't know how to do it, but we'll do it. Have you any more high-level execs left in the last few years? Joe Harrison. High level. Not that I know of. Do you know of anybody?
Not that I know of, no. We wouldn't necessarily know about it because a lot of times when people get out, they keep their head down, really. You know, they're trying to get started. They got nothing, so they don't.
I don't even think they're getting out. Not high level.
Yeah, I don't know.
Off that property.
If they did, we would know about it.
Yeah, off the DIMP base.
I mean,
the only way they're getting out is like the way of Norman Starkey.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Janet Cheney. Hi, Janet. Can you see right behind Matt's head that beautiful portrait that's hanging up? This is from Janet. And it's a whole group of angels, which are helping to protect and guide the person there. And that person is me. And Janet is just so lovely. Also, new member. Thank you, Janet. Question. Did you see anyone fight back when DM was being abusive? Hope so. No. Nobody fought back. It's such a cult mindset that you just like, I don't know why. I mean, now to me, it's just outrageous, you know, but then it was just like, you just don't want to be the next person to get hit.
I didn't see any of that because I was only at the international base from 1978 to 83. And that whole thing got out of control after that. Amy saw tons of it, and a lot of the other guys saw tons of it because they were there. But yeah, you got to realize when he goes and does his bull crap, he's got a little gang of people that are with him. You know, he has hired security that's non-Scientology. He has literally at one point when he was hanging out in Clearwater, he had a guy that was basically a gunslinger, had already shot people down before. So, you know, he's a little coward. He's not like I'm going to stand up to somebody on fair ground.
No.
You know, and if you do something against him, then, you know, you won't see your wife, your family again. You're out of Scientology, everybody you know. So he's got that kind of leverage. It's not people are afraid of him. He's like,
it's just his position.
Yeah.
You know,
and he knows it. And
Yeah.
he uses that to screw around people, which is really bad.
People
Anyway,
like that they're not going to last forever.
Yeah.
Really, you know.
Yeah.
Do you still have nightmares, honey?
You know, no, not really. I mean, I would say that's stopped within the last year or two. I mean,
Really? So it only took 18
yeah,
years?
it only took like over 15 years for the nightmares to stop.
I still have dreams. I don't really call them nightmares.
Well, you wake up and you think you're back in the Sea Org, and you're like, why the hell did I go back in? I was never going to go back in. Those kind of things. Or you're trying to route out and you're having to go through this whole, you know, all the.
I have them all the time.
Yeah, it's
sadly
those.
I have them all.
If you talk to the people that were in the Sea Org for a long time, they have very similar nightmares, and it has to do with trying to get out of there. It has to do with
somehow you're back in.
Yeah, somehow you're back in. How did you come back in? Oh, now they're back in, but they brought the children this time. What the heck am I doing here? You know, those are the kind of nightmares you have.
It sucks. I don't know how to get rid of them, but anyway. KB question: because of triggers and mutual experiences, isn't it a lot easier to work with and hang around Scientology escapees? I think so.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you know, just because like. You don't have to re-explain things or something. I don't know.
We've known the ones that we hang around with. We've known for like 30 years or something. Like, I mean, I was in the Rehabilitation Project Force with Mike Rinda back in the 80s. I mean, like we all go back, you know, a long distance. You know, it's interesting. It's so you feel really close and connected with these ex Sea Org members.
Yeah, and there's certain ones that I just like, you know. I just love so much.
Yeah.
Just love them. The whole time that really they were there for the right reasons. It's just the circumstances were horrendous.
Yeah.
And so we still love each other.
Yeah.
Teddy Bear Scott question: did Matt ever get a special name investigated? He did get a special name. You know his name's not Matt. Tell him that story.
Oh, basically, when I went to this place called La Quinta, which is where L. Ron Hubbard was living, what do they call it? Palm Springs in California. When we got there, everybody had to have fake names, also known as, you know, it had to be a name that was similar to your name, but not the same. Like, so my name was Mark, so I had to pick something
His
close.
real name.
My real name is Mark, so I had to pick a name that was similar, which I took Matt.
He was sitting next to Marty Rathbun. Marty Rathbun's real name is Mark. His name is Mark.
Right.
And they both had to pick AKAs.
Right.
So
Marty went first, and he picked Marty. And he just spelled Rathbun like burn bun. He just changed it a little bit like that. And then for me, my last name is Pesch, P-E-S-C-H, and I just made it Peach instead of the S, made it an A. And I became Matt Peach. So all the time I was up at the international base, I was always called Matt Peach.
And I only ever knew him as Matt. I didn't even know his name was Mark. Talk about confusing. His entire family calls him Mark. My entire family calls him Matt. And so I'm in between going, who am I talking to now? What is his name? Anyway, and of course he spelt it with one T. And I said, why did you spell it with one T? Everybody misspells it. Thank you, Teddy Bear Scott, that you only spelled it with one T. That's nice. And I said, why did you only spell it with one T? He goes, because the other T is not doing anything. Anyway, yeah, that was confusing.
Yeah.
Question: did y'all see Mark Bunker get emotional with Aaron about the support from SPTV? This community is so powerful. That's from Miranda Brinker. No, I didn't see that yet. Gotta catch up on everything. That's wonderful, though. Buck Buttle question: Matt, you said you like fishing on your time off. That's right, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you have issues at first sitting and waiting for the bite, given your urge to always be busy, or did fishing help?
No, I mean, I've been fishing since I was 3 years old. You know, I was a commercial clam digger. I have my own boat and all that kind of stuff on the Great South Bay. I know fishing like I really know it. And so I never get frustrated with it. And I catch fish, a lot of fish. And because I know how to fish and where to fish.
It's fun when Mark and Claire come with their 3 boys, and then Mike's got the 2 boys. They all go out on a boat, and Matt's the guy that teaches them all how to fish.
Yeah.
So he has patience when it comes to fishing.
I grew up close to the ocean on the South Shore of Long Island. So we were always, my dad was a fishaholic, and we just always were fishing.
Yep. Well, thank you for the super chat, Salty Beach Girl Lori. Because I adore you both, such a bright light. Thank you so much. This is from Gracie Girl. Thank you for your super chat. I'm in for a meet and greet. Good. Yeah.
We'll
so are we. So are we. I want to meet all you wonderful people. Purple Groovy, I started this just because I love you. So Scientology pisses me off to the highest pissativity. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah, that should be on a shirt.
Question: how fast will Tom Cruise disconnect from Davey when he is caught? I think instantly. Obviously, I don't know. Who knows with that guy, right?
These idiots. I mean, has anybody seen Tom Cruise speak favorably of Scientology in the last 5 years? I don't think so. I think he's already like kind of falling away. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
He still hasn't seen his daughter. Vivian Booth, question: do you think there's a chance Scobee will be prosecuted for his crimes?
Yeah, I think so.
Hell to the yeah. I do. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to the comments and see what we have going on, because I just did all the stars to see, and people are still saying book me. I think I'm way up on the thing. I'm sorry if I take some time. I want to show that one. Danielle, you're a celebrant too? And your birthday's 2 days after mine? My spirit sister. Okay, so not a question. I shouldn't click it. It comes from someone who kicks. Bucket list comes from before someone kicks the bucket.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Jill Harrison was paying attention, Matt. Do you see what she did?
Yeah.
Matt was eating prime rib while Amy ate rice and beans.
Yeah, what was happening is when we said we wanted to leave and they separated us, they wanted me, while I was waiting to try to route out of the Sea Org, they wanted me to renovate a bunch of apartments for senior executives. And I was like, yeah, you want me to do that? Then you need to give me some real food. I'm not eating rice and beans and then working to make really nice apartments for you guys. So yeah, so they started bringing me some real food. I couldn't get that deal for Amy, but
you didn't even try, I bet. Did you try?
No, they wanted you bad. They were trying. I'm telling you, there was no negotiating for you. Somebody, Miscavige, he wanted you done. There was a suppressive.
You're just assuming that.
There was a suppressive person order in your folder. When I first looked in it, they had it all waiting before we even started co-ordering on the RPF. No, your ticket was like written. So yeah, which was another reason there was no way we were going to do the RPF. We need to just get out of there. It was insane.
But did you ask? Did you ask if Amy...
Oh yeah, over and over again. I was on my knees. I was crying. Please give Amy some of these ribs. She can't eat those rice and beans for 6 weeks. Nobody can.
Starring a bunch of.
Didn't I take it? We started going out to dinner and stuff like that to try to make up for a little of this, right? We went to the Red Lobster like a couple of weeks ago, and then we went out to another restaurant the night after because Amy said, "Okay, you owe me now. You owe me."
Splashing. Okay. I don't know why, unless somebody's making the plug. The dogs are probably
underneath the table here trying to say hello.
Let's see. Okay, so I started a bunch of others like over here. So this is Heather McKinnon. It says, question, when you're in the Sea Org, do they give you bathroom breaks? Yeah, you can go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's where people were always found asleep.
Yeah, it's a great place to catch a nap. I mean, every Sea Org member knows how to get 5 minutes sleep while they go to the bathroom, believe me.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a break. It was like you just ran and went to the bathroom real quick and ran back.
If you were on the guard was outside
With
your
you.
little door when you were going to the bathroom to make sure that you were like,
How many times? Isn't that okay? When you're under guard, as if that's a thing that happens all the time. And it does. How many times was I under guard in Scientology? So many. Under guard. You know, the bathroom was my safe place because nobody could come and sit on the toilet with me. You know, I felt like I had that much space to myself. Honestly. This one is Purple Groovy again. Question, what would help a senior citizen deprogram from Scientology? They deserve to live with dignity in their golden years. I know.
I mean, reading some of the books and watching some of the things like these from SPTV, which kind of help deprogram, you know, like
realize things
Yeah.
weren't really that great.
Yeah, it would strip off a lot of the false information they were fed, and you know, it takes a while. It takes a while to strip all that stuff off. I'm telling you, it's like never ending.
And sleep and real food and someone there that they can talk to and care for them.
Yeah.
Japan of Green Gables again. So question, why are there so many marks in Scientology or critical of Scientology? Pesch, Rathbun, Bunker, Headley, Ingber, Yeager, and 2 Mark Fishers.
True. It's funny. I mean, yeah, it's funny.
It's a common name, I think. Yeah.
But like almost every Mark I know of is anti-Scientology, you know, like exposing Scientology. That's funny.
Yeah. Okay, so this is from Peggy P. It says, question, after being in a cult that keeps secrets, is it ever hard or triggering to keep secrets about what is going on behind the scenes? No, I mean, because the only reason why it's not is because of the importance.
Yeah.
You know, a cult that kept secrets. I didn't keep secrets when I was in there. Unfortunately, I should have. Okay. Andrea Malloy, question, has anyone ever kicked DM's ass in response to getting hit? I know that Jesse Prince basically came back with a rifle and then Miscavige negotiated with him and got him to settle down. In terms of hitting him, I don't know of anyone that did. Do you? I'm trying to think.
I didn't witness any of that stuff.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it would have been early on. And if anyone did that, he would have sent them to the South Pole or whatever, and with no money.
Yeah, there's no way he would ever hit me. I'll tell you that.
No. That concept is just not even there, you know. I think he knows that too, honestly.
Yeah.
The neighbor's dog is going to get our dogs going. Okay, so Kelly C, question. Matt, can you say, let's talk about coffee?
Yeah, let's talk about coffee.
I love your accent. And
some oil, orange.
He says,
turlet.
Turlet. He always says turlet. Turlet. I'm from Wales, but love to visit New York as often as possible. Yes. Okay, thank you for the super chat. It says, Anon A, has anyone left in base recently besides Mitch? Anyone know if there is still violence? Where there's David Miscavige, there's violence. Yeah. But in terms of anyone else that left the base, you know, that place is so locked down. We don't know of anyone. Honestly, we don't know of anyone that's left. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to take this one off and then go into the stream and see if there's anything else. And otherwise, we're going to do a final book giveaway before we end this session. This person wants to know, do working seniors get to keep their Social Security? What Social Security?
Yes, they do. I mean, realize though, if they were in the Sea Org for the last 30, 40 years, which a lot of these elderly guys are, their Social Security is little to nothing. You know, it's just because they weren't paying into Social Security. If they were in the Sea Org, they were, you know, just very little. I mean, what kind of a pay did you get? And like your little percentage that came out of that for Social Security doesn't add up to nothing. So, but yes, if they have Social Security, yes, they can keep it. I'll tell you one thing that they don't get to keep is you get Sea Org members who get inheritances.
Inheritance.
Yeah. And the registrars will dive on these people, pressure them, hound dog them to get them to give up all or some of the money that they inherited to Scientology. And it happens, and these people give in, and they might inherit, you know, $1 million, and they're left with little to nothing at the end of it because it's all pressured out of them. So
yeah. Okay, good. So what do you say we do another book giveaway?
Sure.
Okay, good. And then we'll end off for the evening, and you guys can enjoy your Sunday evening. I hope you've had fun being here with us.
We can do this again. We'll do it again. So if you don't get to ask your question tonight, or you later on you think of something, write it down. We'll do this again, and we'll answer your questions. Believe me.
Yes. Okay, good. So I'm going to hide that one, and I'm going to put this. I'm going to go over here, and look how amazing that is. This is for one of my books, Scientology, Abuse of the Top, signed by Matt and myself. So go into the chat and say, book me, book me, book me, and I'm going to pick somebody. I am going to pick you in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Glenda Miller, book me. Okay, Glenda. So send me your contact information. It's Amy at Scobee-publishing.com, and I will send a book to you. Congratulations. Yay. Okay, you guys. So we had a really fun evening with you, answered a whole bunch of questions, and we're not going anywhere. We'll be here. So we'll be available. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you. I'm going to do a little 2-second outro here. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.